When I was 22 years old, I woke up handcuffed in the back of a cop car, and that night changed everything for me. I started down the wrong path at 14 years old. It started with cigarettes, like most people do, and it turned into harder drugs over time. I got into weed, alcohol, cocaine, even ecstasy, and ultimately started becoming the exact type of person I didn't want to be. I was using everything and anything that I could get my hands on to escape the reality that I was living in. I was burning bridges, and I was hurting the people that were closest to me. Even friends that I had had for years, I was pushing away because, unfortunately, the drugs were clouding my judgment and making every decision for me. I just couldn't see it yet. Until the night I got arrested. You see, I had been fighting with everybody that night at the party that we were having at my house. I was punching windows out of my neighbor's house, I was fighting people, and I was being incredibly rude and belligerent to everyone around me. The last thing I remember was punching the glass out of my neighbor's window, and the next thing I knew, I was in the back of a cop car. The cop that had arrested me had me in handcuffs and explained to me that he knew I was on drugs, but that him and his partner had gone through the entire home and that they couldn't find anything to substantiate the claim that I was indeed on drugs. Because of that, they didn't really have anything to go off of. They had asked everyone that was still there from the party if they wanted to press charges, and no one at the party wanted to press charges against me. Because of my age at the time, which is super weird because I was 22 years old, the cops decided that, hey, instead of taking this kid down to jail, maybe we give him one more chance and we call his mom. The cops called my mom, and after talking with my mom, they decided to drop me off at her house instead of taking me to jail. As I was sitting in my childhood bedroom that night, sobering up, I started to realize that my life was going in a direction that I didn't want it to. I started looking at everything I had done up until that point, and I resolved inside of me that I was going to change. The next day, I went home back to my apartment, and I decided I was going to cut everything out cold turkey. And it wasn't easy, but I consistently decided to show up for myself every single day. My life started changing from that point on. Not overnight, but pretty dang quick. Almost 2 years later to the day I met my wife, and through her, God blessed me with everything I had been asking for my entire life. 4 kids, faith, and finally a purpose I had been searching for. I'm a perfect example of being able to come back from anything. Don't ever let yourself feel like there's not a way to come back from whatever situation that you're in, because I promise you that there is. Remember guys, center your life around God and Christ and everything else falls into place. Later dudes.